Hi everyone, this is Cody, W3AMG with BridgeCom Systems. Thank you for attending today's live stream. You're going to learn a lot today. It'll be a great experience and we're going to have a good time. So today we're going to be showing you how to use your 578 mobile radio as a crossband repeater so you can use it with handheld radios. How cool is that? It's a really cool trick these radios have up their sleeve and it's actually incredibly useful. So we're going to go over that today, how it works, everything like that. But before we get started, I want to do a couple quick announcements. The Uncle Sam's Big Ham giveaway is going on right now. The over $2,500 worth of awesome ham radio equipment that you could have a chance to win. That is going on. That'll be going on for a little while, so make sure you sign up for that. But more importantly, for everyone who is actually here, we are going to be giving away an 878 Plus today on this stream. So you do have to be present to win, so click the link in the description to sign up for this. And stay watching here. Now, to win this, you do have to be in the stream. So if you disappear, you won't be able to win this and we'll draw a new winner. So if you want a chance to win this, make sure you stick around till the end. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's do some shout outs real quick though. Let's see, who do we have here? We have a John W9YCD. Good morning, John. We have Shane in 0PXT. Hello from Minnesota. Good morning, Shane. We have Eric D, KF0EVP from Colorado. Good morning, Eric. We have a Chuck, KG5OKG. Good to see you, Chuck. Then Tim, KC1TWR from Connecticut. Good morning, Chuck. Samuel, KD2TVP from New We Good morning, Samuel. See, we have Joe from Oklahoma City, KI5MDB. So we have a Greg, KN, I think it's maybe KN4DXL. Ben, N4BJL. Awesome. Well, good morning, guys. Thank you all for attending. We're going to go over a really cool feature today. So let's go ahead and get started. So first thing you want to do is pick out a couple frequencies. And before we do this, I just want to let you guys know, it's your responsibility to read and understand all of the FCC rules and regulations to do with repeaters and or mobile stations and everything like that on how that all works. We're just going to be testing this today to show you how it works, but it's up to you to understand all of that and follow the FCC rules accordingly. So let's go ahead and get started here. So I've completely initialized this 578, the UV3 Plus. So this is the latest and greatest one with the airband receive, but we're going to click confirm here, get that booting up. So the first thing we want to do is add our receive and transmit frequency. Now, it doesn't matter really which VFO you put it on. We're going to have one on VFOA and then one on VFOB. It doesn't really matter beyond that. So I'm going to go and turn off this beep first of all. So you go to menu, and we'll go to settings, radio set, and let's see here, ketone. We're going to disable this. There we go, much better. Now we can work in peace and quiet. So from here, we can see our two different VFOs. So VFOA, we're going to set that. Let's see here, I'm just going to follow the same structure that you guys can follow. The show notes are in the description if you want to follow along. So for today, we're going to be transmitting on 144.3, and we're going to receive on 438 megahertz. And you don't have to have a CTC or a PL tone, but we're going to use 131.8 hertz. Just for this test. Now you can change these, but for this analog crossband repeater setup to work, it does actually have to be crossband. So to utilize that properly, you would need a cross or a dual band radio. But these work great for it, these AnyTones. So we're going to set the transmit to 144.3, and VFOA is going to be our transmit. So we're on VFOA, so 144.3. And then you just click the pound key to continue filling that out. Now we're going to go ahead and set up the rest of that. So we want to go to menu, and we'll go to settings, go down there, perfect. Then you want to go to channel set, And we're going to change the channel type to analog, just like that. And then back out of here. And from there, we're going to change our RT CDT. Now this is for the transmit tone, this is for the receive tone, and then here you can actually change both at once. So we're just going to change this to our 131.8 Hertz. There we go. And that's optional. You don't have to set a tone, but it will help keep other traffic off of this. So we're going to do that. Then back out here, and I believe that's pretty much it. Now we are going to set the transmit power. Now most of you guys probably would want to set this up for high power or turbo. We do have it hooked up here to this antenna, but since we're in the shop, this is right beside me. Not going to do that. We're going to crank it down to low power because we have no need for the high or turbo transmit power. But if you're using this in the real world, you probably want to crank those powers up. So let's back out of here, and we have our VFOA complete. So now we're going to, on the remote, or the mic, I should say, take this button. It's the one that says sub PTT, and then in the smaller letters, A/B. So you press that, and now we go over to our other VFO, our VFOB, which shows up down there. So we want to set this to our 438 megahertz, or let's see, so 438, and then you want to go ahead and press that pound key. Perfect. And we're going to do the same thing here. So you just want to go in the menu and go down to settings. Oops. There we go. And then channel set. And then channel type, we'll set that to analog. Perfect. And then we're going to go down to our tone. Set our tone to 131.8 Hertz. Perfect. Back out of here, and then I'm going to go set the power to low. Now obviously really only one of these, the power, is going to be relevant, but the interesting thing is when you set this up as a repeater, it will actually work both ways. So it's not really up to this, which one is the receive and transmit, it's up to what you tell your radios to go to. The key is just, if you have more than a few radios, you have to make sure they're all done the same way, or else it's not really going to work very well. But this can be set up either way. So we're done here. Now at this point, let's see, have we missed anything? So we've set our PL tones, we've set our power, and we've set our receive and transmit frequencies. So from here we need to go to settings, and then on these new radios it'll be the other function. And then you go to radio set, and then there's a function called repeater, which we're going to enable. So we go here to our menu and go down to settings, like that, and then radio set, and then on the traditional 578, the older one, they didn't have this organized as well, so you just have to scroll all the way down to repeater. But in this case, we can actually go to this other menu, other function, and go down to repeater, and it'll be a lot easier to find this way on the newer radio. There we go, repeater, and you simply turn this on. It's literally that easy. So at this point, we are set here. Now this is not active yet because no one's transmitted on it, but as soon as we activate this and there's activity on it, we will have to remember to ID for this station every 10 minutes, when there's activity. So that means you really can't just leave this. And there may be some rules as well. I'm not entirely sure on how close you have to be to this to operate that station. You may have to be by it. So like I said, that's up to you guys to look at those rules and make sure you follow them properly, the FCC rules on that. But we're going to set this up, and we're standing right by it, so we'll be okay here. And we will basically ID for the repeater, because a real repeater system is going to ID by itself and take care of all that. This isn't really a true repeater. It's not going to fill the place of that. But what it's great for is if if you're doing some kind of mobile rescue operation and you have this in your vehicle, you can quickly and very easily set up a little mobile command station, and it's brilliant. I love this feature. So let's go ahead and set up our radios now. So we have the repeater. We have it all set up. So now we're going to set our radios. So let's go ahead, and so we decided the transmit will be the VHF and the receive is going to be the UHF frequency. So let's go in here real quick. So make sure you are on your VFO. So we're on VFO here, and we're going to set this to, our receive is 438. So we, oops, let's see, 438, and then hit the pound key. Perfect, so we're set there. Now for this, you want to go into menu, and then go down to settings, and then channel set, channel type. You want to change that to analog. Perfect. And then you go down to the tone. We're going to select that and set that to our 131.8. Looks like it's already there. Perfect. Go back out of here again. And we're just going to set our power to low because we don't need anything more than that at the moment. Perfect. So we are set there. We do need to set our receive frequency though, or I apologize, our transmit frequency. So we go down here, the transmit frequency, you want to clear this out, and then we're going to put that at 144.3, and then hit the pound key. Perfect. So we're set up there. And so now, if we back out of all of this, this radio is receiving on our 438 megahertz, and it will transmit on our 144 megahertz, 144.3. So we're going to do the exact same thing with this radio now, get it set up the same way, and then we will try this out. There you go, you can see the cool screens. These radios come with all kinds of different custom backgrounds, so you can really customize them as much as you want. So we're going to go into menu, over to settings, and then channel set. Oops, actually, I did this wrong. We want to first go to our VFO, so push the P2. There we go. Now we can set our VFO properly. So receive is going to be the 438 megahertz. There we go. And then now we go to our menu and settings, and then channel set, change the channel type to analog. And then from here you back out and go down, and we'll set our tone, the RT CDT. That sets it for both receive and transmit. Now this is optional, or you can do, just one of them. So we'll set that, and let's see here, 131.8 hertz. Oops. There we go. Perfect. We've got that set. We'll back out, and now we're just going to set our transmit power to low, and then go down and set your transmit frequency. We got to set that because we have yet to set that. We'll set our transmit frequency to 144.3, and then hit the pound key, confirm that. Perfect. We are in good shape now. Awesome. So I'm going to turn the volume up a little bit on these, so hopefully you can hear. Set this one over here. So let's go ahead. We've got everything set up. Let's go ahead and try it out. Testing 1, 2, 3. This is W3AMG trying out this new repeater system. Cool. Check that out. Portable repeater system works great. I'll turn that up just so you can make sure you can hear it. Testing 1, 2, 3. This is W3AMG. Cool. So how cool is that? Now we could crank the power up on this. If you have guys that needed to talk to each other, these can go out a long way. If you have this set up as a mobile station, you could be in your vehicle, monitoring this and keeping an eye on it. And you could have guys out, for miles potentially, depending on the terrain. And this is going to keep them connected. So really cool feature of the 578. And it's pretty easy to set up. I mean, we set this up in what, 15 minutes, and that was with some announcements. And you don't even need a computer to do it. So if you have the amateur version of this radio, it's very, very simple to do. I believe you can also do it with the commercial version without the VFO. You would just have to do that from a computer. So let's see, do we have any questions? And keep in mind, guys, you do have an opportunity to win this giveaway. You can win yourself a brand new AnyTone 878 Plus. So make sure you stick around till the end to see if you win.
We have a question here. Will this only work for the tri-band version? I don't have the option to enable the repeater function on my dual band.
That is a great question. I don't see a reason why it wouldn't work on the dual band, but it is possible that it's only a feature on the tri-band. Now, I will tell you this, on the dual band, I know it's not going to be available on the actual menu. So you can certainly give us a call, give our tech team a call, and they'll help you if it's possible. I don't know that off the top of my head, but if it is possible, it will be done through your CPS, not through the radio. But I would suspect it is.
Can we use this in a boat?
Can we use this in a boat? Yeah, I don't know no good reason why you can't. Like I said, I would, before you really use this for anything, I'd look into FCC rules and make sure it fits your application, and you can do what it takes to keep it all legal and above board. But absolutely.
Can it only repeat in VFO mode, or can we set it up in channel mode?
Can it only, okay, that's a great question, if it can only repeat in the VFO or channel mode. I believe I've personally never tried that. The expert who understands all this is out in the shop today, but we could certainly get you that information. I don't see why it wouldn't work in channel mode. You would just have to have, you may have to have it. That's a good question. We'd have to find that out for you. Don't know on that, sir, but we can certainly find that out for you.
What's a good rig for a beginner?
What's a good rig for a beginner? So really, it depends if you want to go mobile, what your goals are. That's going to play a big factor on it. If you're someone who likes to tinker and spend a lot of time with things, I'd probably suggest starting out with just a radio, like one of these handhelds. They're awesome beginner radios because you can get in, you can start using them. The 878 UV2 is a great option there. But if you want something that will completely get you on the air in just a few minutes, the plug-and-play package with these, that includes the SkyBridge, that is probably one of our best starter options because it gets you a starting point, and then you can go from there. And that way you're up and talking to people all over the world straight away. Now, obviously, if you're wanting to do cool stuff like this mobily, with a mobile radio, this is good. But I would probably recommend, if you're just getting your first radio, get yourself a handheld first.
How much is this radio and antenna?
How much is the radio and antenna? I'm assuming you're talking about the mobile. So these, I believe these ones, the new ones, I think are $459, and the antennas. This antenna we actually don't have for sale right now, but it will be back up soon. It works great, but then there were some problems with it. But they are fixing them right now. So as soon as those are ready, we'll be selling that to you guys again. But I believe those are $99 for those antennas.
Can this be programmed via CPS, then the crossband configuration be placed in a zone for a quick return?
That's a good question. I don't see why this wouldn't be able to be programmed via the CPS, but I have never personally done that. So let us know what you find out. If it makes sense to do that, maybe we can cover this in a future live stream.
Can you crossband 220 as well?
Can you crossband 220 as well? That's an interesting question. You may be able to. I haven't personally tried that. So it sounds like we have a lot more testing to do and experimenting. So anyway, we're uncovering this feature so you guys can do, start experimenting with it for you guys who have these radios. But this radio will do 220 DMR. It's one of the few mobile radios out there that will do that. It's a tri-band radio that can do 220 DMR, and it actually works. So that is really neat, and I don't see why it wouldn't be able to do this, but it may not. So we definitely can look into that for you.
Can it repeat to digital?
Can it repeat to digital? Absolutely. You can do this digitally as well. There's actually quite a few cool features you can use this for. You can have it, talking to a local repeater and then use a completely analog radio or a different radio on a different band to talk to this, so if you're in your vehicle talking on your mobile to a repeater, and let's say you needed to get out and go check something, you could take your radio with you and continue talking through your mobile. It just kind of activates your mobile. So there's a lot of cool features and different ways you can set this up. But absolutely, it will work with digital.
Where do I get my license?
That's a great question. So there's a lot of different places you can get it. Generally, finding a local club or group near you is the way to go. There's a lot of different resources out there. I would probably recommend the ARRL.net. They're a great resource, but there's a lot of different classes and different ways to get it. So just go to the ARRL.net, and they will be able to point you in the right direction of a local, group or testing session near your area. And we actually have a free study guide on their website for the technician test. So just go ahead and get that. We'll give it to you for free.
Do you have to set up a crossband repeat every time, or can it be clicked in when needed?
So do you have to set it up every time, or can it be clicked in when needed? That is, I know you can turn it on, whenever you need. So, if you don't have the VFO pulled up and you're just using your regular channels, and then you switch over to VFO and turn on the crossband repeat, yeah, absolutely. As for saving the VFOs to a channel and using it that way, you may be able to do that, but we haven't tried it. So yeah, any more questions? And then keep in mind, guys, if you have any questions about these, we have some awesome sales guys standing by. They've got their amateur radio call signs. They love helping people with radio gear. So if you have questions about this stuff, give us a call, 816-532-8451, and press 2 for sales, and they'd be more than happy to help you. But what other questions do we have here real quick before we do the giveaway?
What's the advantage of setting up a repeater as crossband?
What is the advantage of setting up a repeater as crossband? Not really anything in particular. That's how this works. I believe because most mobile radios can't be used as a repeater. It's pretty neat that this can do that. Something to do with it having the two receivers, I guess, and transmitters too. It's able to do that cross band. And actually, I believe, I don't think it's advertised as this, but I believe someone figured out how to make it work on the same band for DMR. So it is really neat what it can do. But the crossband is mainly just a limitation of using a mobile radio as a repeater. It's not really a true repeater, but it is a really cool feature. And if you have a dual band radio, it really does work like one.
Can you program with a Mac?
So unfortunately, you can't do programming with a Mac. I know, I'm a Mac guy too. You may get some hate for that, but I like Windows too. Rest assured, we're all good there. So I just keep an inexpensive Windows computer around. They're good to have around for things. You can find them for less than $100 on eBay, and program my radios and everything with it.
Okay, we have a winner. His name is Patrick Smith.
Patrick Smith, we have a winner. So are you here, Patrick Smith? If you are, you have just won yourself a brand new AnyTone 878 Plus. Now, if you aren't, don't go away, guys, just yet, because we will draw another winner if Patrick is not here. So let's see here. There we go, Patrick Smith, I'm here. Well, congratulations, Patrick. You've just won yourself a brand new AnyTone 878 Plus. Thank you all very much for attending. I love doing these live streams, and it would not be possible without you guys. I hope these are educational for you, and you're able to learn something out of it. So, that's what Ham Radio is all about, getting together with the community and sharing our experiences and helping each other with our radio. So if you have any questions, give us a call, 816-532-8451. Press 2 for sales. And I will see you guys in the next live stream. So take care, 7-3.